In a previous video, we spoke about the sine of an angle using the unit circle and the graph, but this time we're going to look at the cosine of an angle. So let's say this is our unit circle. I'm going to draw the 4 quadrants of the unit circle. So we have 0 degrees, 90 degrees, 180 degrees, 270 degrees, and then 360 degrees after one complete revolution. Now, the cosine. Let us draw a triangle. This is our triangle. This is theta. The angle theta. The cosine is the adjacent divided by the hypotenuse. Now, here, when you find the cosine of this angle, you're going to get the length of the adjacent over the length of the hypotenuse. The adjacent runs from left to right. It will give you a positive value. The hypotenuse is always positive. Now, if you go into the second quadrant over here, I can tell you from now, if you find the adjacent divided by the hypotenuse over here, remember angles measured from 0 in an anti-clockwise direction, at positive angles measured over here, you are going to get the same number, but it's going to be a negative angle. Why? Because our adjacent runs from 0 to the left in the negative direction. A negative adjacent divided by a positive hypotenuse will give you a negative number. Same argument here. If we take an adjacent over the hypotenuse for this triangle in the third quadrant, and remember, just as a reminder, this is first quadrant, second quadrant. Remember, the first quadrant is in this area. It's 4 equal parts, 4 equal sectors. Second quadrant would be in the shaded area. Now, third quadrant would be in this shaded area, and the fourth quadrant would be in this shaded area, just as a reminder, right? Now, here, this angle between 180 and 270 is going to be the same number as this, but it's going to be negative. What you want to do is find the angle that is between 270 and 360. And we're going to get the same number and positive. All right? Let us try a thing and see what it is I'm dealing with here. Suppose we consider the cosine of theta is equal to a half. So we have cos theta equals a half. Theta equals cosine inverse of a half. What is the cosine inverse of a half? Let us see. So we have cosine inverse of 0.5 equal 60 degrees. So the cosine inverse of a half is 60 degrees. Let us say this is our 60 degrees, right? Now we draw 4 other triangles similar to this. It's just that Two of them flips downwards, one of them flip to the left. These four triangles, right? This, 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 this. They all have the same length of adjacent and the same hypotenuse. Now, if you consider this angle here, you'd have to go, since this is 60, remember, if this is 60 degrees, this will be 60 degrees as well. See that? But you measure the angles from zero in an anti-clockwise direction. So you go this way. What is this angle? Right? I'm going this way. Well, you get it if you go 180 and then you back off by 60. So 180 minus 60. So let's call this theta 1. Theta 2 is 180 minus 60, which is what? 120. All right. So far, we know that cosine of 60 equals half. What about the cosine of 120? Is that also equal to a half? Let us see. Cosine 120. So, we're finding the cosine of 120 equal negative half, as expected, because guess what? The adjacent goes this way to the left in the negative direction, looking at a negative adjacent over a positive hypotenuse. All right, what about this angle here? That angle, to get it, you'd have to go 180, then 60 more. So it's 180 plus 60, you see that? So let's try that. Let's call this theta 3. Is 180 plus 60. What's 180 plus 60? That's going to be 240 degrees. Let's try a little thing here. What is the cosine of 240? Cosine of 240 is equal to, now let us see. What do you think it's going to be? Cosine of 240 equal, same number, but it's negative. And again, it's negative because the adjacent runs to the left. So it's a negative adjacent over a positive hypotenuse will give you negative 0.5. All right, so finally, what about this one? Well, that angle, you have to go all the way around to 360, then you back off 60. So here, you can see these don't work, this doesn't work. What about theta 4? 360 minus 60 is 300. Is the cosine of 300 equal to positive half? Let us see the cosine of 300. All right, cosine of 300 equal half. So it works for 60 and 300 degrees for the same reason. You see, just a little reminder, adjacent, positive adjacent over hypotenuse. This is a negative adjacent over hypotenuse, giving you negative half. This is, you will have a negative adjacent over hypotenuse, give you negative half. So if you find the cosine of any angle between 90 and 180, or between 180 and 270, you're going to get negative a negative number. But here now, positive hypotenuse, positive adjacent over positive hypotenuse gives you positive half. So if you find the cosine of an angle between 0 and 90, or between 270 and 360, it's going to be positive. So here now, let's just erase some of these things. These didn't work, so we're not going to consider them. We're going to consider this as our next angle in line. Let's put this angle up to the front, or further up here. Well, this would be theta 2. Let's call this theta 2. Which other angle gives you half when you cosine it? What do you think? Let us see. You go all the way around to 360. Then you go 60 more. 360 plus 60. So if you say 360 plus 60, what you're going to get is 420. What is the cosine of 420? Is it really equal to positive half? Let us see. So we have cosine of 420 equals positive half. So you get half. What about the next angle? Which angle is the next angle in line? When you cosine it, you get half. Let's see. To get that, you have to go 360 plus 180 minus 60. See that? 360 plus 180 minus 60. So you have 360 plus 180 minus 60. What does that give you? $480. What is the cosine? It's up? Oh no. I had stopped in the second quadrant. Let's do that again. Just realize. You go 360. Then 360 more. Then you back off 60. So it's 360 plus 360 plus 60. Right, that's what I should have done. So 360 plus 360 minus 60. Calculate that and see what it gives you. You get 660 degrees. What's the cosine of 660 degrees? Let us see the cosine of 360. Let's clear this. And we say cosine of 360 degrees equal. Oh, that's 660. my. Let's do that again. Cosine of 660 degrees equal half. And using the same argument, you can go on and on and find an unlimited number of angles, such that when you cosine them, you get half. Alright? Now, question is, what about the cosine curve? Can you find these angles with the cosine curve? Remember, the cosine curve looks something like this. You have, this is 180, this is 360, this is 90, 270. Now, if you locate 60 degrees, say 60 degrees is here, you project up to the curve. Oh my, let me try and get a straight line. So this is 60, I go up to the curve, and you go across. You're going to get a value that shows you the cosine of 60. Remember, this is 60, you know. When you go up, you're going to get, well, it wasn't drawn that clearly, two shapes. Let me see. Well, at least I drew it by hand. So, but you get the idea though. You go up to the curve, project to the left, horizontally, and to the right, too. You have the angle here at 60, go up to the curve and go across, you get half. Now, the same thing happens here. 270, you go 60 more, 270 plus 60 is 330. So the next 270, let me see, 270, oh, my, I say 60. The distance between 60 and 90 here is 30, right here. So when you go here, it's the distance backing down from 270. That would be, or going up, I mean, from 270. That would give you this value. Remember, the 270 is here. This value is what we're trying to find. So 270 plus 30 would give you that angle. And the cosine of the angle is, you project up to the curve and horizontally to the left, and you get half. So cos 300 is half. You could repeat this curve, I mean this cycle. You could continue drawing it on and on if you want. But you will find that the next angle at which it occurs going to be 360 plus 90 minus 30. So what you have here is 360 plus 90 minus 30, 9 and 6, 15. So 360 and 90, 60, 364, 60, 450. 450 minus 30 gives you 420. Alright? It's here, 420. The cos of 420 will also give you a half, which we did earlier. 660, same thing. If you project outwards, right here, B, you have 90. Oh, 360. If you have 360, then you go to 90. 360 plus 90. This angle should be labeled 450. So this is 450 plus 90 more will be 540 plus 90 more will be 630 right here. Now 630 plus 30 more gives you 660. And if you project from 660 up to the curve and go to the left, you'll also find that the cosine is half. Alright? So the unit circle and the curve can help you in finding the angles such that the cosine of those angles is half. Alright, so any question, comment and so on, you put in the comment section. If you haven't subscribed yet, you subscribe to the channel, and remember to share the video with somebody else. I will see you in the next video.